Hey, what's going on, everyone? I had some folks ask me about Modern Horizons 3. How is the set doing now that it's been so long gone and just in the back of our minds, barely a memory when MH3 came out? Who even remembers a month and a half ago? It hasn't been that long, actually, but we did have Assassin's Creed come out right afterwards, and then we're just inundated with Bloomborough previews. That's coming out this weekend. But before we get to Bloomborough and that pre-release and how all that set's going to do, let's talk some MH3. Let's get into it. All right. So, overall, how did this set fare? What's the EV looking like? Well, we had the pricing at release. It was around $750 for a box. EV wise, obviously the cost was somewhere in that 250 to 300 range, but the EV was around $750. Now we predicted that there'd be about a 50 to 60% loss just as this set rolled through. We usually see that in the more master and premium sets. It's just kind of the statistic and trend that we see. So how did this set fare? How is it shaping up? I think we're, as I said, a month and a half into this. So currently, the EV for a box of MH3, the play boosters, by the way, that's looking to be $280. What is that percentage wise? That's about 65%. So we're basically kind of in the ballpark there of what we kind of predicted in prices and EV. We predicted a 60% loss. We're seeing a 65% loss right now. So it's fairly in line with what we expected. I think there's a couple other things happening here that are causing it to kind of stay depressed. First issue is that we're kind of in this whole Nadu summer right now. The card dominated at the PT to the point where everyone just assumed it was going to get banned just because the play pattern for it is very time consuming and it is also indeterminate. Even when you start the combo with Nadu, you don't actually know if you're going to be able to finish it. Most of the time you are, but it takes a lot of steps and you can't just say, hey, I looped this, a bazillion times and then I win. So you actually have to kind of go through the motion. Because Nadu has been so oppressive in the meta for Modern, it may make some decks that could potentially do a lot better, or some other combo decks that, use some of those cards aren't going to shine through right now, just because if you're going to play a combo deck, you probably should play the best one. Now, another problem that's kind of exacerbating this is that WotC says that they're not going to do any emergency bans till the 26th of August, but they have mentioned that there probably will be some banning. So people are assuming that Nadu will be banned, but they still have a whole month to play with Nadu. So we're just kind of in a kind of stagnant spot with Modern. As soon as we move past that, I imagine we could see a lot more breakout decks. The flares were really hyped. People thought those were going to do really well, but they haven't found a home yet, so that's kind of attributing to, some loss. But I think once we get past those things, people kind of have more chance to play with some more of the MH3 cards. We saw in MH2 the elemental cycle didn't really pick up. I mean, people thought they were strong from the get-go, but when they found their homes is when their prices started to skyrocket and the whole EV of the set went way up. So all it takes is more MH3 cards finding a place in the Modern meta for the set to go up. Now, if they don't, obviously the set will stay down, but it's only where we thought it was going to be anyway. The set could just go up from here. Maybe it gets a little more depressed, but I think the set's doing just fine. But how did the individual hive of cards line up with their current prices versus what they were when they were released? Are we with the top 10 cards still in the top 10? Let's find out. Let's look at them. So the top 10 cards on release were Ulamog the Defiler, Ugin's Labyrinth, Emrakul, World Anew, Tamio the Inquisitive Student, Necrodominance, Nethergoyf, Phyrexian Tower, Kozilek the Broken Reality, Ocelot Pride, and Flare of Denial. How'd they do? And as expected, basically every single one of these cards fell. Obviously, this is usually what happens, especially if the cards don't find a home. The hype for Tamio was real. It was correct. It's found a home in both Izzet and Jeskai control decks. That's pretty cool. Glad to see people call it right on that one. The other one that people had in the top 10 was Ocelot Pride. Who would have thought that a Mythic 1-drop in a Modern Horizon set would be good? This is currently what is in the top 10 for Modern Horizon 3 cards. And we can see that Ocelot Pride has jumped all the way to the top, and the other two cards that have kind of come onto this list that knocked the bottom two off are Flage, Titan of Fire's Fury, and Ajani Nakatl Pariah. Both of these cards are in the same exact deck with Ocelot Pride. They all see a bunch of play in that shell, so it makes sense that all of these cards, and they're all mythics, are all grouped up and have risen to the top here. So yeah, that was just a quick recap of MH3, the current EV, and what cards are performing right now and why. If you like this kind of stuff or you want to see more of it, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you want to see. And to everyone that subscribed, really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.